Good morning, good evening, and good night, depending on when and where you're seeing this. We're back with another episode of EAM Experts. Today, the conversation is all about drones. With me here today is Ehud Ollech. How are you, Ehud?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. All right, so Percepto, what does it specialize in? What's the history there?
Okay. So first of all, Ernesto, thanks very much for having me today. So my name is Ehud Ollech, and I'm the head of business development at Percepto, which is a company that is harnessing robotics for autonomous inspection and monitoring. The company, we have two main products. The first product is a drone in a box. Okay, so that's hardware. And we have also the software, which is visual asset management software. Okay, so these are the two main solutions slash products that Percepto has today. If we go backward and if we want to go into more details about the solutions, Percepto we started back in 2014. The company developed autonomous drone in a box. Okay, so this is a concept of a drone that is stationed in a box in a base station that can conduct multiple computer vision missions throughout the whole year in most weather conditions, from snow, heavy rain, winds, dust, and so on. And the concept is having a drone, okay, that is located in the customer's site, kind of lives in the customer's site. Just for the example, let's take like a solar power plant. So you have the system there. The system every day conducts, different missions. It can fly. Usually our average varies between 7 flights a day to 15 flights a day. So we're able to collect huge amount of data. Okay, so that is the drone in a box. That is the hardware. The second solution that we have, and we work very closely with our customers, and the idea is, we collected the data in a very good way with the drone in a box. The customers started saying that, the data collection is great, but they didn't have the time to review the data. Meaning, it was too time consuming to start looking at the data, hours of flights, and to understand what is actually happening in their site. And then we decided to basically add the Percepto software. So the idea is Percepto now will be able to collect the data, analyze the data with the Percepto AIM software, and generate reports with actionable insights. Okay, so kind of closing like a full cycle end-to-end solution with both hardware solutions, the drone in the box, and with the Percepto AIM, the Percepto software.
So they both act like a interactive solution, right? They're both together working, capture the data, analyze it, and all that.
Exactly, but it doesn't need, it doesn't, it's not a must, meaning we do work also with, and afterwards I'll get into exactly how, but we do work with other data sensors slash data collectors. It can be a DJI, it can be a VTOL, fixed wing drones, it can be your Samsung iPhone. So it doesn't need to be with the Percepto hardware. And today, the way I see Percepto, the main, the heart of the company is the software, okay? I see Percepto as kind of a visual data analytics company, okay? Just for the audience to understand what is the Percepto software. So the Percepto AIM software, the first thing that you can do in the site is kind of a site setup. So once again, we took the example of a solar plant. So you can do like a site setup, like predefine where the drone can fly, where the drone cannot fly. Just for example, if now there's a 80-meter chimney or a 40-meter silo, or if there's any obstacles, trees, whatever, so you can mark like no fly zones. No matter what happened, the drone won't fly into the no fly zone. So that is kind of the site setup. Usually we do this together with the customers before we deploy the systems. Then you have the mission planning. just like a video game, super easy, super simple. Simplicity is the key. When we built the software, simplicity was the main, goal for us. So you can plan the mission in a very easy way. Just tell the drone fly from this point to this point, from area A to area B, take different snapshots. We have on the drone both RGB camera and also thermal camera. So every time you take a snapshot, it captures the snapshot both with day camera, 4K camera, and with the RGB, that's radiometric, so you can see exact temperatures. So that's kind of the mission planning. There's lots of features, but at the end of the day, it's just like a video game. No need for engineering background, no need for technical background.
No
Super
pilots?
easy to plan. No. So that obviously depends on the regulation, the specific country. But in order to operate the system, you don't need to be a pilot. You do not need to be an engineer. You basically need to go through Percepto's training, which takes maximum 1 day. Okay.
Nice. So this
So
is essentially as simple as, having a vacuum in your home and scheduling a route and a time for that, or it is
exactly,
harder.
exactly, exactly. So it's kind of, you have the Roomba or the Xiaomi, or you have the different, vacuum cleaners, automated vacuum
Mm-hmm.
cleaners. You just kind of program where exactly you want the vacuum cleaner to go, and that's kind of it. Okay.
Okay.
Super easy, super simple. So the next thing in the Percepto software is the live operations. Okay, so if now you located in the Caribbeans, in the Bahamas, or whatever, let's say New York, and you have a site, a power plant, solar power plant in Germany, you from your living room slash office slash whatever, you can actually open your computer. This is a browser-based solution. So let's say you just go to Google Chrome, and see in real time what's happening right now in your site. Okay. And this is very important in order to control and understand what's happening in your site in real time. We see this feature, by the way. I know, probably most of your audience are in areas that sometimes you might have like hurricanes, or other storms. So this is very important. Important. Let's say now there's a hurricane, you can actually send a drone right after the hurricane to go and
Mm-hmm.
assess the damage. Okay. And you from your house, you can actually see what's happening now in your assets. So
That's
that is the
awesome.
live operations. Yeah. The next thing is just an archive. So in the Percepto software management, once again, we call it the Percepto AIM. You'll be able to have all the archive, all the videos, all the images, everything is stored in the Percepto system. And most importantly, Ernesto, is the reports and the insights. After each flight, Percepto, with our AI capabilities, we generate reports with actionable insights. Let's say now there's a malfunction, there's a hotspot, there's let's say, corrosion, there's a crack on the chimney, whatever issue you have. And afterwards, we can also discuss the different assets and sites that we cover. But let's say now there's a problem, we mark this and we generate reports to the different stakeholders in the company for them to understand and, once again, better control what's happening in their sites. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, about, once again, Percepto hardware, the drone in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Percepto AIM, which is the Percepto software, where you can both command and control, okay, the different robotics on site, and also consume and review all the data, okay, that we captured. Um, and basically the evolution of Percepto is, I mentioned once again that we started with the drone box, added the software layer. And this is also something that came from our customers that said, the drone box works great, the software is great, but they have other data collectors or data sensors in their site. And this is what I started saying before. Just for example, we have sites that you have the drone in a box, but in addition, you have PDZ cameras, you have satellite images, you have, your Samsung, your iPhone. Some sites have different robotics, such as UGVs can be the spot, legged robot. It can be wheeled robot. It can be DJI. It can be VTOL aircraft. And the idea is that not only Percepto's, data, you'll be able to upload, or you're able already to upload all data to the Percepto software. And we have our AI and different algorithms that basically analyze this data and once again generate reports. So just for example, let's take, let's say we have a tank. We have a tank farm. In the system, the drone can cover from above, let's say only like 80% of the tank. So then you can send a person to take with his Samsung or iPhone or whatever to capture some data from below the first, 2 meters. Or you can send, if you have their PDZ camera, you can use that data or whatever data you have, visual data or all visual data can be once again uploaded to the Percepto system. And this gives you, a big visibility on what's happening in your sites.
So I see you have in your background a box with the label of Percepto. Is that the drone box?
So in my background, yes, that is actually one of our deployments. I can tell you that that deployment is in North America, in the USA. You can see in my virtual background, we have in that specific site, we have 2 base stations and 2 drones that basically work in a redundant. Most of our sites, usually one system should be sufficient, should be enough. But we have other sites that they want to cover to have like a drone 24 hours in the air. So sometimes you need different systems or several systems working as a redundant.
Okay, so you spoke about a particular installation. How many or what different industries does the drone in a box and your visual asset management work with? How many can you cover, or
Okay.
which ones are there?
Okay. So just before I continue and answer your specific question, just for the audience to understand, Percepto, we were founded in 2014. Okay, so we've been around in the past 8 years. Currently, we work in 6 continents. Okay, we have offices in Israel, in United States, both in Florida and also in Austin, Texas. We have an office in Amsterdam, Netherlands, and also in Perth, Australia. We work, and now I'll go over and provide, the different industries that we cover, but we work with Fortune 500 companies, biggest companies out there. The idea of the Percepto system is we call it like a multi-mission system. So multi-mission system, the main idea is, one system, as mentioned before, that lives in the site, and we can cover different applications. So it can be security. We can patrol around sites. We're able to detect and track people and vehicles. Emergency response, acting as first responders. Safety. Just imagine you have a site, a refinery with, a 70-meter chimney. Instead of sending your workers with helmets and ropes and ladders, you can send a drone and eliminate the risk. So that's security, safety. Most importantly, and probably this is the area that we provide the most value to our customers, is inspection/operational applications. So we can inspect anything out there, from chimneys to silos to pipelines to rooftops, you name it. We can also, provide for customers like 3D models and orthophoto mapping, kind of a private satellite, so you can see what's happening in the site, how the site looks like, compliance applications, monitoring, and so on and so forth. So if we take the multi-mission system, you can understand that basically any industry that you have, these 4 areas, once again, safety, security, inspections, and compliance, you can use drones. However, we do focus on 3 main industries, which are oil and gas, energy, and mining. So when we talk about energy, so mainly power utilities, we work today with both power generation sites. Power generation could be solar farms. We have experience in solar farms, hydroelectric farms, wind farms, thermal coal plants, nuclear plants, and so on and so forth. When we talk about, we have also experience in power distribution, so covering substations, both the substation and the grid that goes out of the substation. We have experience in oil and gas, as mentioned, so mainly refineries, tank farms, and mining. When we talk about mining, so mainly open pits and also smelting sites. But as mentioned before, we do have also experience in other areas, other industries. It can be railways, it can be telecom companies that are using Percepto. Verizon is a company that uses Percepto. SK Telecom, largest telecom company in South Korea, and other telecom companies. We have automotive companies that are using Percepto mainly for security, to secure their high value sites. So that's, where what Percepto, which type of sites Percepto can cover. But once again, today our focus and our experience, and I would say the biggest value that we provide will be in the energy, oil and gas, and mining.
That's awesome. Yeah, so it's you have essentially a watchdog, but you also have perhaps a technician doing rounds, and you have people. You are avoiding that people have to be on site whenever there is a safety inspection that requires things like scaffolding or anything like that. So I think it's a very versatile tool. Um, so tying it back to asset management, right?
Mhm.
Um, how how far does it go? Does it only do visual inspections, or does it have any other capacity to measure things like temperature? I don't know what else.
Yeah, so today we on the drone we have RGB. So we have two fixed cameras. Okay. By the
Okay.
way, the entire system is the components are either American or Israeli. Okay, that's important for lots of our customers, mainly that's in critical infrastructures. Okay, so today we have two fixed cameras. We have the FLIR camera, RGB camera, and also a FLIR thermal camera, okay, which is also radiometric, so it can see exact temperatures. Today we focus on visual only. Okay, so that's the area that we have experience, and we see that this area provides big value to our customers. We did launch a few months ago, and this also is something that came from our customers that said, we have, let's just for example, a refinery. So you have the Percepto with the camera, with the RGB camera, the day camera, and also the thermal camera. But they wanted us to be able to detect also gas leaks with a special sensor, okay, with OGI camera. So this is something that is already operational. We have the OGI camera. This mainly is relevant for oil and gas.
Mhm.
But yes, we focus mainly on visual data.
Okay, and let's can we do a quick comparison between, a before and after of what would a drone inspection or a drone uh, round would substitute, and say, okay, so before it was, people boots on the ground or anything like that, and now we have uh, these benefits. How can you do a before and after there?
Yeah, so let's give an example. And we started with the solar plant, so let's continue with that example. So um, today, inspections or let's say manual workflow. So a solar power plant can now order a drone service company to come and inspect their sites. The way it works is they call the drone company, takes a DJI or whatever drone, they need to charge the batteries. They take the DJI to the car, they put it in the trunk with a few batteries, they drive to the site. Okay, some sites require safety courses or special permits to get into the site. They get into the site, and they need to do several missions, conduct several missions. They land the drone, they put it back in the car. They go back to their house. Sometimes it's already too late. They go to sleep, and then it's the weekend. So the week after they go back to the office, they need to connect the drone with a SD card or with a USB, whatever, to their computer. They need to upload this data to a third-party software, and then they need to start understanding what they're seeing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of limitations here, limited coverage, limited frequency, limited data quality, and lots of other limitations. We won't cover everything today, but with Percepto, the data collection, okay, that's key. We're able to collect huge amount of data, once again, because the drone lives in the customer's site. So in average, as I mentioned before, we can fly, 7, 10, we have sites that fly 20 times a day. And just imagine we have now, let's say, a refinery or whatever, that the system flies 15, 20 times a day. It goes, and let's say now there's a chimney. It will inspect the chimney from the same altitude, from the same angle every day. Okay, and in this way, kind of apples to apples. So you can take, the previous image and compare it to the current image and see also if there's any differences. And if there's any difference, you can alert on this in real time. So the system is there every day. You don't need to wait for someone to go and inspect it, in 1 year from now. So that's the data collection, the data upload, everything's automated. The data sifting and analysis, all the data is basically sifted to the specific asset. So the way Percepto basically we operate is we see sites as assets. Okay, so this is something we already do in the site setup. So let's take an example. Let's say you have a refinery and you have area with tankers. We'll classify and mark each asset as an asset, meaning tank number 1, tank number 2, tank number 3. Let's say you have the process area, you have the pipes, and you'll mark, the different assets. And each time the drone goes and captures data, everything is allocated to the specific asset. And in this way, the site managers can, better and really understand what's happening in their specific asset, not in the site, in the specific assets. So that's one of the biggest advantages that Percepto covers today. The huge amount of data that we collect, our AI capabilities that can analyze the different data, and that we generate reports with actionable insights right after the mission. Okay.
Okay. So talking about inspections, right? When you do an inspection, you typically gather things like, you know, condition of an asset. I'm guessing when you're doing a drone route, you're probably looking for things like, and following your example on the solar farm, right? You probably are looking for things like or either high temperature or
Exactly.
shady solar panel or broken solar panel or anything like that, right?
Exactly.
To what extent, what things you can capture within an inspection that you would say this is uh, a full round, or is there anything that you have to be either visually in front of physically in front of the cell that you have to do that the drone can't do?
Yes. So we do have, this is a fully autonomous system. We do have, let's say, safety measures. So usually we won't go less than 10 meters from the object. Okay. In some sites where you need to get to very, low resolution, that might be problematic. For most of the sites that we work in, and you gave an example of the solar plant, usually, the drone can cover all the different malfunctions or issues that a solar plant has. So it can be like the diode problem or the cell or multi-cell or vegetation, or, in solar, it's pretty straightforward. You have somewhere between 6 to 12 different issues, and it's very straightforward for the algorithm to actually understand it. because usually also in solar, let's say you have now a site in Florida and there's other sites in the desert in Chile. Usually all solar farms act similar. Okay, so it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty easy for the algorithms to understand. We have here a hotspot, we have here a diode issue. So that's pretty straightforward. Obviously, it also depends on the industry, on the use case. So in mining, lots of things that we do is like measuring piles. Okay, this is very important for our mining companies to control and understand the inventory. They, on a daily
Right.
basis, the piles change. So there we go, and actually we're able to, measure the pile.
Okay.
In refineries, tanks, we go, close to the tanks. Once again, 10 meters from the tank. Every image that we capture it both with the day camera and the thermal camera. We're able to see if there's any thermal issues, if there's any hot spots, if there's with the day camera, you can see if there's any cracks, corrosion. So these are the types of issues that the system, the drone, is actually searching for.
Okay, so we covered solar, wind. What can you cover with wind? I'm guessing wing inspections and all that.
Exactly. We do. I do need to, when we talk about wind farms, the system, the Percepto system, we need three things. We need electricity, and once again, I'm talking now about the drone in a box. We have the software, but let's put the software aside. The drone in a box needs electricity, it needs LTE coverage, okay? And it needs a flat surface. If you have these three things, you can deploy the drone in a box and it can basically go and inspect the blades, inspect the substations if there are in the area. So yeah, it's pretty limited, let's say, in wind farms. We have other sites, I mentioned refineries, chemical sites, where, let's say, mining sites where there's, tons of different use cases. Once
Yeah,
again,
there's a lot
security.
of
Yeah,
different components there that you can assess.
exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, wind farm is pretty easy for us. There's ain't too many components to inspect, but obviously we can inspect the blades. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And also thermal, it has a lot of components. I'm guessing that probably helps a lot,
Yeah.
uh, assess different components there.
Yeah. Another thing, Ernesto, is the thermal is also a radiometric camera. So meaning you can see the temperature of the component slash the asset. Okay, meaning let's say now you have just for example, whatever. Let's take pipe. We can see the temperature of the pipe. Okay, so and you can also like predefine a threshold set, which
Mm.
means let's say the temperature of this pipe is usually somewhere between 30 degrees to 100 degrees. You can determine a threshold set, which means if the temperature goes above 110, you want to get an alert about this specific change. So this is something we also do.
So it can get to the point where those alerts trigger things like work orders or emergency reactive orders or anything like that, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. I think we're getting close to the time threshold here. So I don't know if you want to do any closing comments or anything like that.
Nope. Once again, I highly appreciate your time today and giving the opportunity for the audience to hear about Percepto, about our technology, our solution. Lots of people think drones or autonomous drones is kind of futuristic, but once again, this is something. This is present. We have lots of customers all over the world that are using these systems. So if there's an interest, you can contact Ernesto, you can contact me, and would be more than happy to answer questions if you might have. So Ernesto, once again, thanks very much for having me, and have a great day.
All right. So what are the different ways people can reach you?
Yeah, so the best way is either through our website, so that's percepto.co. Okay, you can also Google Percepto online, Percepto drones, Percepto autonomous drones. You'll find a way to see our website. In our website, there's tons of information, tons of collateral, videos, everything you would like to see. You can download brochures there. Or you can just through LinkedIn, you can contact either me. So my name is once again Ehud, it's Ehud. And my last name is Ollech, Ollech, or you can contact the sales team. Once again, just search on LinkedIn and for sure you'll find someone from Percepto. So these are the best options. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. If not, then you can reach out to Visual K, and we can definitely extend the contact for Percepto as well. Ehud, thank you very much for being here. Um,
Thank you.
Everyone, keep in mind you can see this and other recordings through Apple Podcasts, visualk.com, Spotify, and YouTube. And also, you can reach out to us on our LinkedIn channels and our visualk.com webpage. So that's about it for today. Thank you very much, Ehud. Thank you very much for being here with us today. And until the next time.
Thank you, Ernesto. Take care. Bye bye.